your pinch pot lidded jars, we are going to use underglazes to complete the surface. You want to look at your Zentangle or automatic drawings and figure out what designs, what motifs you would like to apply to the surface of your pinch pot lidded jar. You are then going to create 3 thumbnail or small sketch designs. So you can see that in my sketchbook, I have 1 completed so far. So I'm going to pull 2 more surface ideas that I can apply to these other 2 thumbnail sketches. Now what I like to do is actually combine more than 1 idea. For example, I combined this design with this design to arrive at those shapes floating on the surface of my pinch pot design number 1. So I will create 2 more surface designs before I have my sketches complete. Before you apply underglazes, I want you to have a general understanding of the difference between an underglaze and a glaze. An underglaze, are you ready for this? Goes under a glaze. It does not have any gloss to the surface. So sometimes we can choose to leave underglazes raw on the surface. Sometimes we choose to glaze over them, but they are dry in appearance. We will not be glazing over the surface, but underglazes are designed where they do not run, they do not travel on the surface of the clay, and if you want to bring a high shine to them, you apply a clear glaze over top. The type of underglazes that we are using are referred to as watercolor underglazes. They are not the same as watercolor paints. Do not try to use watercolor paints on the surface of ceramics. When you place them in the kiln, the regular watercolor will just burn right off the surface. These are created for ceramics. So they contain ceramic oxides as well as even a little bit of clay to make them compatible with clay. So you got to select a few colors to integrate on the surface of your design. So let's talk about how we get these colors moving. So you want to make sure that you have a little bowl of clean water handy, and because we're going detail oriented with this, you want your smaller brush. So you obviously want to start with dipping your brush in water and creating a little tiny pool of water in your palette. Whenever you're using your brush, you want to focus on moving your brush in one direction. The reason for that is we don't want to go like this with our bristles and ruin them, okay? So you want to go in one direction. So I'm going to continue to move in that one direction until the color begins to release. And then you'll start to see the brush actually picking up color, not just water. If you shed a few paintbrush bristles in your underglaze, don't worry about it. It will all burn off in the kiln. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just the nature of using a paintbrush. So you can see that this brush is beginning to collect color. The more patient you are with brushing that watercolor palette, the more color you will release. So be very patient with it. And then you're going to be ready to apply your color. Underglazes can be applied at either a bone-dry greenware state or a bisque piece. We are going to apply them to greenware, in other words, unfired clay.